Hello and welcome to this week's Profit Maximizer Moment. I'll start the first sentence off someday correctly. This show is dedicated to helping business owners dramatically improve their bottom line with our weekly profit maximizing tips that you can use now. I'm your host, Wayne Bilal, and I'm the founder also of a local CPA firm that's been working with business owners since the early 90s. All right, helping them make more money, keep more of it from the IRS. I do that with our profit coaching programs and with our tax planning systems, which have saved my clients over $6.8 million over the last 5 years, all legally. I love my clients, but we're not going to go to jail with them, so we'll stop there. In today's video, you're going to learn the number one thing you need to do now to increase your profits from your current customers. And truthfully, why it's more important than ever for every business to do it in today's business environment. But first, support for today's show has come from Profit Maximizing Publisher. I should have just stayed still, that was good. Which published my book, The 90-Day Profit Reset, which shows you how to gain your independence from reduced cash flow, shrinking margins, and an evaporating customer base. In this book, you will find chapter after chapter, idea after idea about how you can turn around your business, reset your profits from red to black in 90 days or fewer. Even entrepreneurs who are making money will benefit from my book by learning how to make even more money. I'm going to go straight from the book because I wrote it better than I'm going to be able to say it. So I'm going to talk about cash cows. We all know. I'm talking about products or services you sell. What is it you sell? What is the cost of producing, buying, delivering the product that you promised your customer, client, patient, whatever you call them, the person who's going to give you money for what you're going to provide to them? Look, we all know that not all our products and services are created equally. Some, we make a ton of money. Others, barely break even. Some we even lose money on. If we know that, and there's a reason we're doing it, that's great. If we don't know that, that's not so great. All right? If you're focusing on if you're spending your energy, your marketing dollars, and your training on low profit products, ignoring your cash cows, trouble is right around the corner and approaching fast. And in today's market, even worse, because you see it out there. You go to the stores, gas prices are up, payroll costs are rising because we can't get enough people to come to work. Product costs are going up depending on what your products are, but just about all of them are there. So in periods of inflation, knowing which ones are your cash cows and knowing which one you make the most profit on is not just nice to know, it's vital to survival. All right, it's that simple. I've actually known business owners who inadvertently price a product below cost and then spend advertising dollars to promote it so that they'll sell more of what they're losing money on. Why? Either they trusted their gut or the back of the cocktail napkin calculation, or they simply don't know their product costs. All right, so how do you avoid this? Where do you start? I'm going to get into this a little detail, and it's hard to do video. I'm not getting with numbers and showing you, all right? But first, you list all your products and apply this calculation to each. The calculation is simple. You take your sales price minus your cost, and your cost is your material cost plus your direct cost of direct labor. If you don't know that, come up with a standard cost. I get that. Well, I don't know. How do we do that? Well, you know how much it should take for this particular product to be produced, packaged, whatever, sold, whatever it is. Come up with a standard rate times a standard hour for production. Talk to your accountant. I'm not going to explain all that. Plus the cost of any outsourced work. Let's not forget that. A lot of us are doing outsourced work, and other direct costs. So you take all your sales price minus all the costs that have directly related to that sale, and that's your gross profit. Look, have an accountant help you with this because it can be overwhelming. It sounds like a ton of work, and it is. But let me tell you why it's important. I had a couple of young guys that were they'd been in a restaurant business forever, but they were opening their own finally, and had them. I was doing some coaching with them, and we got to this section where I said, you need to do this, and they looked at me, no, I mean, it's just impossible. We have too many items on the menu. We can't do that. And I said, okay, fine. Use the 80-20 rule that I discussed at an earlier video. You know, Pareto's principle, 80-20. You're going to get 80% of your results from 20% of your outputs. Let's say 80% of your sales come from 20% of your products, so on and so on and so on. I'm not going to go into that. Watch that video. So take your top 20 items, top selling items, and do it for that. All right. And what I told them is come back and we'll discuss it. Well, when they came back 2 or 3 weeks later, they had done every item on the menu. And I asked them why. I said, you told me it was too much work. And I said, well, when they did the first few, they realized their assumptions or what they thought wasn't necessarily true. So a lot of things were wrong. Things that they were focusing on or selling, or where it was on the menu, or how you put it out, they were making not as much money as items that were not being focused on. So they decided to expand it because they realized they stopped offering low price margins as specials. They added a few dishes that were closer to their higher profit ones. The result of all that hard work was 25 to 30% increase in profits without any advertising whatsoever, and they paid off their loan much faster. All right, so even more was added to their bottom line. Look, I'm going to keep this one kind of simple because there's another part of it, but it gets confusing, so I'm going to probably cover that next week. We'll talk about activity-based costing and how if you want to take the master's side, go a little bit further and get better details, and you'll get there. Look, I think, like I said earlier, it's more important than ever in today's world because of inflationary pressures on product cost and payroll and fuel. Just about everything, fuel is going to be a component. It may be very indirectly, but the product has to get to you somehow. So for most of it's there. It's if you don't take that into account, you can end up losing money in a period of inflation without realizing you are. All right. I've talked to my restaurant clients and told them they need to really stay on top of this because food prices are increasing dramatically. But it really applies to everybody because you need to know when you need to adjust your prices. You need to know how much you can pay. The problem with inflation is it affects everybody. I get people, well, I can't raise my prices. The guy down the road isn't raising his. Yeah, well, give it 6 months, he'll be out of business. It's a balancing act, okay? And really what you're doing is you're sitting down and highlighting those items that are your cash cows. That's what you're looking for, is the 20% of your products that are going to bring in 80% of your profit, and figure out how to focus all your marketing and advertising on those products only. So you want to get there, all right? But you can't do that if you don't know what your costs are, if you don't know what your profit margins are, all right? Well, you can easily adjust a lot of things, but that you can't. Hey, until next time, well, let's talk about what you need to do. I'm going to give you some homework. Get with your accountant if you don't know how, and sit down and run through how to do how to get your cost information now. All right. If you don't know how to do that, you can shoot me an email. I can't really do much about it. Deadline for tax season for us is next Tuesday, but I'll try to see if I can answer it. And if nothing else, like I said, get with your accountant, find an accounting major to help you, whatever. This is pretty basic stuff. And if you're a business owner and you're selling a product, you need to know this. What about if I'm selling a service? I hear somebody asking that almost. You have to do work. What's your work? What's your time worth? What's your employees? What are you paying them? Don't forget to put time on the owner. What are you going to pay yourself? What do you expect to make? And that's your cost. All right, you need to know that. All right. So that's your homework. Get your cost numbers down. All right. Failing to do so, as simple as that. Failing to do so definitely hurts your profits and may result in you going out of business. It's really that simple. Hey, thanks so much for listening. I'll see you next week with another profit maximizing moment. And let's keep working on making this our most profitable year ever. Thank you very much. Bye.